The first thing I want y'all to understand is this. You have the right to choose whatever broad you want to choose. If you want to choose a reformed 304, if you want to choose somebody baby mama, if you want to choose any of that, that's on you. And there's nothing wrong with choosing any of those women because you can apply the prism of the ism to anyone. Problem is, y'all be falling in love and wifing them up. So before we get into Brittany Renner's announcement that she and Kevin Gates are divorcing after 52 days being married. Now, of course, they're married under Islam, so they don't have no marriage license and all that. Kate Gates is still legally married to Drika, so we ain't talking about that. But this is what they presented. This is what they said. She had the ring. She had all of that. And we're going to listen to what she said. But first, let's look at how this young brother got caught up. And we'll break it down because I want y'all to understand how the hell you get caught up too. Some of y'all in here right now caught up with a broad you ain't got no business caught up with. Some of y'all in here right now trying to pull a broad back into your life that the Most High has blessed you to get rid of, who didn't do nothing but drain your energy and your resources. Some of y'all right now open book to a broad. She can call you for whatever she needs. Ain't got to give you nothing. You got to get over that. You got to regain your power, homie. You got to regain your strength. You understand me? Because a lot of y'all out here right now, man, look, you can play the role for the homies, dog, but some of y'all out here, man, right now, man, y'all going through this same thing where y'all let some scallywag, man, get a hold to the bag, and now you sitting around here, man, you looking stupid. Let's get into it, though. We'll get into it. Mello, what up with you, man? I think I saw Midnight Life up in the joint, too. What up with you? All right, let's go ahead and do this thing, man. So let's look at how it all started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Renner, and I'm here with the one and only Kevin Gates. How you feeling?
Amazing. Hey, thank you. Hey, this I don't care if you get this on camera. I just want to say thank you for being an amazing person, always living in your truth. You inspire others silently. They probably don't want to admit it, but you inspire me. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Let me tell you something. So my first Rolling Loud I did in 2019 is when I first saw you. Yeah. And you were actually, Will and I worked together, and you were the only person that I wanted to see the entire festival. And today in 2022, it still rings true. You were the only person I wanted to see.
Did you like what you saw?
I actually loved it. I actually love what I'm seeing now.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
All right, so what do I do? Do I wave? Do I smile?
Nah, just be yourself, man. I give you a tour of the crib.
Tell me what you want and done.
Now, here's what I want y'all to understand, man. I want y'all to keep game on this. Here's a brother who has been trying to free himself from his past. He's been trying not to be the gangster, the shooter, the whatever he was before. And what happens is a woman sees you in your piece like that. And the favorite thing for a Jezebel to do is find a man who's in his piece and act like she wants to be a part of that piece. Act like she wants to contribute to that piece. Act like she wants to benefit that piece. Act like she wants to motivate that piece. Act like she wants to promote that piece. Act like she wants to help grow that piece. Act like she's the woman that you will want when you're in your most peaceful mind state. But notice the operative word here is act. Now, this is him, the fallout of that interaction in 2022. Listen, he's a grown man, but she was grooming him for this moment. She didn't know when this moment was going to come. She didn't know when the love and hip hop thing was going to come along or whatever, their basketball wives or whatever. She didn't know when the opportunity was going to come. But a woman always, think about what we always say. A woman always has one in the chamber. She always has a man that she can call on who's been waiting, who's been debating, who's been contemplating, who's been considering dating. And Kevin Gates was that sucker for her.
And I'll give it to you.
If my mother was a person, how y'all doing?
Now, I played that just to show you just how lost a man can be. He's sitting singing R&B songs and behaving as if he's found him one. But here's the thing. He believes that a woman can change into what Brittany Renner has become. She can't. It's the same principle of the church girl becoming a born-again virgin. I've met some of those born-again virgins who were absolute scallywags, and suddenly they turned around and became a born-again virgin. And they really, really promoted that they were something like a virgin again. They believed it. And let me tell you something about a woman, and I want y'all to write this down. Whatever a woman truly believes, she will do everything in her power to achieve. And if you are not one of the most elect of God, you will be deceived by what you think you perceived. And this is what happened with Kevin Gates. He was at a point where him and his old lady, him and his wife were having problems. So he's at an emotionally wrecked point. He was in an emotional prison. Let me tell you the two times that men turn to God: when they in physical prison and when they in emotional prison. And by prison, I mean you could be locked up in an actual prison. You can be physically incapacitated in some way where you're bedridden. Or you could be permanently paralyzed. A lot of things can go on, but those are the two times when a man truly seeks God. That's when a man seeks God. The most blessed of us, God calls on us. We don't have to seek him. He calls us. But this is also the most vulnerable time for a man. That's why God told a man, when you separate yourself to me, I want you to separate yourself from the world. You need to separate yourself. Go off somewhere and be alone. When he wanted to give Moses the laws, he said, I can't give them to you down here with these people. You got to come up in the mountaintop where it's just me and you one-on-one, because the people will always lure you away from your mission. And many men are lured away from their missions by women. And you may ask yourself, why couldn't Kevin Gates see this? He didn't want to see it. He was in emotional need. He needed to show Drika that he could be as happy as she was, or as she portrays to be. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't, but she certainly portrays happiness. So he needed to get what he got, but instead of relying on the Most High, he wanted to put his emotional reliance on this woman. This woman. Not a proper woman, but this woman. When you're in this state, you must avoid women. You have to rebuild yourself into you're emotionally destitute in this space. You have to build yourself until you're emotionally strong, until you're emotionally astute again, which means that your emotions aren't guiding you. Your emotions aren't leading you. Because when your emotions are leading you, your emotions are deceiving you. And you must not allow that to happen. All right, let's get back into this.
My spirit had been calling me to speak on this topic. I wasn't even going to speak on this, but this is like dead serious right now. And I know who need to hear this. You. Don't never let nobody tell you need to go back to a situation that wasn't serving you if they wasn't there to see the situation and how it was playing out.
Now, what you hear is a man telling you how emotionally weak he is at this point. Never let anyone tell you you should go back to a situation that wasn't benefiting you. Now, when we talk about benefit, the only benefit a man look for from a woman is an emotional benefit. We talk about emotional support. We talk about emotional submission. We talk about emotional reliance. But when you start getting emotional defiance, and then you realize your emotional investment in that woman was a bad investment, there's no return on your investment. So what do? You flee. But instead of going back to that situation, you're in such an emotionally destitute state that you need to go somewhere. And since you can't go backward, you go forward. And all a woman has to do is present herself in the proper way. I've had plenty of women who have 304 past. You can look at them, you can see it on them, you can smell it on them, you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their complexion, you can see it in the texture of their skin, you can see it in everything, you can hear it in their speech pattern, you can hear all of that, but they'll still put on their sheep's clothing, when in actuality they're wolves underneath. And they're waiting for you to be beguiled by the kindness in her voice, by the battering of her eyelids, by the softness of her words. But you have to understand those words come out slick as oil, but they cut on the back like a sword, man. You cannot be a sucker and fall weak for a woman who sees a man in emotional need and she turns into what you need her to turn into. Because here's the thing. A woman can't figure out a man who's spiritually astute, emotionally strong, and powerful in every sense of the word. She can't figure that man out. But any man who's emotionally weak, a woman knows what to do. You put 100 men in a room and they're all emotionally weak. A woman can do the exact same thing to all of them because an emotionally weak man is something like a woman. You become feminine. So the things that work for her work for you. She needs to be coddled. You need to be coddled. Y'all sit there and coddle each other. And we already know that, and we'll see later in this show just how emotionally traumatized Brittany Renner is. We know this. She's shown this over the past few years. So when a woman comes and she's emotionally traumatized, she'll fake like she needs to be who you want her to be so she can get in. But once she get in, she locks into your trauma. And you think you have love. You think you have a beneficial relationship, but what you have is trauma bonding. And once a woman trauma bonds with you, she runs you. Because women are emotionally superior to an emotional man. She's emotionally inferior to a logical man. But let's keep listening to Gates.
So when somebody tell me, man, you need to go back and do this and go back and do that, I was on drugs. My skin wasn't glowing. I wasn't working out. I was unhealthy. I was depressed. I wasn't happy. My cameraman told me something that made me, I said, man, send me a picture with my mouth closed. He say, it's hard, bro, because you just been smiling so much lately. I'm happy. On the inside, I'm happy because I'm close to God. The closer you get to God, the more you have. The further away you get from God, the less you have.
Now, I want y'all to understand something about being close to God. A Jezebel links into a man who's close to God. And she will come into your life and be living the same lifestyle that you live, which will make you think she's got to be the one. But if you pay attention, you'll see little signs that she's got a finesse game going. The Jezebel don't want a man who's down on himself spiritually. She needs to be, let me tell y'all something, brothers. And this is what you got to understand. This is why the Most High tells us not to keep the company of evil men, because evil men will benefit from your blessings and you will get detriment from their wickedness. If you're a blessed man and you start dealing with people who are wicked, who are evil, who are living a lifestyle that they shouldn't be living, who are living a life that's not pleasing to the Most High, they can benefit from your presence. And that's what a Jezebel needs. She needs to benefit from your presence so she can pick herself up, because no matter what she has, no matter how beautiful she is, no matter how attractive she is, no matter how many men want her, no matter how many opportunities she has, no matter how many dollars she has in the bank, she is incomplete internally. So she needs to recycle that feeling of being uplifted again. The problem with a Jezebel being uplifted is when she's uplifted, she drains the man who lifted her up. And he goes down and she can't maintain the level on her own. So she goes down again. And then she locks into the next man. That's why you meet them and they have maybe one kid with 4 abortions, or they have maybe 5 kids, or they have maybe 3 kids, or they have maybe 2 kids with 1, 2, 3 terminations. You just don't know. But I'm telling you, brothers, you have to avoid the woman, especially if, like Brittany Renner, you know her past. This woman has not hid her past. How do you get caught up with a woman who has not even hid her past? It's different if you get caught up with a woman that you don't know, you've never seen her before. But we all know her past because she's put it out there, and we'll get into it later. But let's finish this this God told me to love this woman rant that this guy's going through right here, man. And I sympathize with this guy, man, because he was at a point where he thought this woman could be a blessing from God because she presented herself as such. But he only felt that way because he wasn't emotionally whole. He didn't take enough time away from women. Now, you heard him say he was happy. Look up some of his content before he met Brittany Renner like this. You know, before they got together, he was already smiling all the time. He attributes his smile to the presence of a broad.
So I don't care what man say. Man don't make. Hey, my creator woke me up. My creator is pleased with me. I did the right thing in the eyes of God. So fuck who don't like how I'm living right now. And fuck who don't like how you living. Do what serves you. And you owe nobody no explanation for being great. We in the great divide. You either vibrate low or you choose to vibrate high. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Now, I'll also tell y'all this. When you hear a man say, you do what serves you. Nah, bro, you do what serves the Most High. Blessings don't come from you creating them. Blessings come from you using the gifts that God gave you, but also living a life that's pleasing to the Most High. That's where blessings come from. Not by doing what serves you. You see what doing what serves you will get you? He's the poster child for what doing what serves you gets you. When he served himself, he came up with Brittany Renner, a woman who had just recently claimed she converted to Islam. Let me tell you something, bro. You don't make a conversion easily like that. When God called me to the word, man, I took the vow to Nazarite, man. I was on the vow to Nazarite for 17 months. I mean, I was off the scene. People thought I was in prison or something. And listen, and I'm a man, I was staunch about it. Every day I was on the mission. Every day I was in the word. When I separated myself, bro, I took a deep dive into it. It could have taken 3 years. I already had a little money saved up. So I had money to live off. So I was able to do it all day and just be focused on it. What if I had been a man with a 9 to 5? It would have taken me 3 years, 3.5 years. So how this woman 1 month she talking crazy about dudes and then just twerking on IG, and then 2 months later she got on a hijab talking about she didn't converted. You know how slow you got to be to believe that a woman can make a transition like that? Come on, brothers. And you know how blasphemous this is, man, for him to contribute this to the Most High, dog. Dog, how you gonna contribute this to God? God told you to do this. Wait a minute. God took you from Drika, who for all intents and purposes, Drika said Kevin Gates was the first man she ever been with, and she hadn't been with nobody else. Nobody came out and refuted it. You know, we in this social media area. We're in this social media era where if there was somebody there who could say Drika lying, I've been with her, I got footage, I got pictures, somebody would have said something. We know this for a fact. Men are weak now. Men expose everything they know. Men expose women the way women have always exposed men. So we know if somebody could say, Drika telling a lie, they'd have been out by now. So here's a woman who was his. When he got her, nobody had touched her before. He had the prototypical virgin wife that was all his. And you mean to tell me God told you to leave that and go to Brittany Renner? You got to be careful about who you listen to when they're talking about God put words in their mouth. Because you may be listening to a false prophet who just knows the thing to say because he knows the thing that you want to hear. Hold on, bro. Let me do something right quick. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to tell you like that right now. You want to continue to be a part of this live chat? You got to go to the main channel page. Next to the subscribe button, click the join button. Click that join button. You can become a member. We got too much stuff going on in here right now. Too much stuff going on in here. I heard somebody say Drika left him. Man, let me tell you something. A woman don't leave you until you run her off. I'm going to tell you that, man. I'm telling you from the prism of the ism. A woman don't leave you till you run her off. You understand? A woman that dedicated to you, man, she don't become undedicated until you run her off. Until you run out. Let me tell you what happens. The first time that you lie to your wife, then you have become less than the man you should be. The first time you tell your wife that, hey, baby, it's just you and I, and then she learns that it's you and her and more women, you have become less than the man you're supposed to be. If you are blessed to have a virgin wife, then you need to understand that that is a gift from God. They say, you know, it's he who findeth the wife findeth a good thing. But he who findeth the wife, that don't mean some broad you marry. That means he who findeth a wife. He who findeth a wife. When a woman is dedicated to you, brother, you have to force her to leave. You literally have to change up on her and become something she doesn't like in order for her to leave peacefully. I'm an expert at that. And here's the thing, brothers. You can't halfway do Islam. Gates been halfway doing Islam the whole time. But now let's take a look at this next clip, man, and it's going to be more of the same.
Jury blanketing outside, full exposure, made a bar to give them everything they need except a closure. You need to pull an over. You think that you gonna leave with all my business, yeah? I might have to play them a little closer. Now we in Malibu, Maybach back to back, have an asthmatic. Call the troops, pull up with some shit, make you do acrobats. You think that I'm finished cause I'm done? Say, little baby, how you get so fucking far? Go check your Apple Maps. Foreign exchange. Kurt Cobain and Maybach, I might pull up brainless. Man, come on, man, I'm Teflon. You know I'm bulletproof. These niggas ain't that dangerous. A lot of pros and cons when you rich and famous. What up?
Now, that was the last clip of Gates. And I just want to say this before we move on to the Brittany Renner clips. When you look at this guy, man, how happy he is to have this woman. He was already famous when this woman was out here misbehaving. He's from the South, right over in Louisiana. She from the South, went to school at JSU. So she's known in these parts. And I want y'all to understand something. If you ignore who a woman is, you deserve the consequences and repercussions that come from allowing that woman into your life. You deserve to be used if you're that confused. And this is what happened. Because now that the show is done filming, she doesn't need a husband anymore. She's been a basketball wife for the entire season. Now, if she makes it to the second season, she's divorced now. She's already integrated herself into the fabric of the show. But let's keep going. It gets better. It gets better.
There seems to be a theme here. Good girls versus bad girls. A lock that can be opened with many keys is a broken lock. And if you can't submit to a man, you're gonna die alone. So my question to men is, do you want perfect Polly? A puppet? A prisoner? Or a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you?
Now, that's what she was. That's what she changed from. She wasn't submissive. She didn't want to be. She didn't want to be perfect Polly. She wanted to challenge you. That's what she was. That's what she was built on. Now you accept her becoming your Islamic bride? You fool you.
To myself, but I mean, I just told you I text 35 guys. It's an updated number for people who have been following the number for years now. So,
It said you slept with 24 men, 11 athletes, 5 entertainers, 8 regular guys. Now you up to 35.
I keep a list on my phone. Why is that a lot? That was a whistle.
No, I'm just
Blow the whistle.
No. I mean, you said athletes don't use condom.
But so 10 guys was that?
So you
9 guys
24. No, 11. You
11 guys in 5 years.
Yeah.
Here's a woman promoting her body count, has been promoting it over the years, has been releasing the number to keep people updated, and thinks 35 isn't a lot. No, in this current climate, 35 bodies is not a lot for a woman who's living in the principles of hoism. It's low for a woman who's living in the principles of hoism. But here's the thing. When we're talking about that, we're talking about working girls who get paid every time. Every interaction, they get paid. They're working girls. They've dedicated their lives to that. So if you want to compare yourself to a woman who spends her days making her money that way, yes, 35 is low. That's when she was existing and exhibiting and proudly representing the principles of hoism. But as your wife, the same one who says she got 35 bodies is your new Islamic wife? Come on, Gates. You fool you.
It's fine. I need to do this video. I don't want to. I'm gonna get through this video, but I never understood when people said you forgive for you. There are a lot of people that I never even began to remotely forgive in my heart. Like Brittany to Brittany in private, still holding on to resentment. What was so hard about forgiveness for me was it seems like everybody just moves on with their life. And then here you are, emotionally, you felt like you just did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Arm blown off, forever changed by the events that happened to you.
What is the key word she said? Forever. Forever changed by the events that happened to you. The woman admitted that all of those bodies forever altered her. And let's not just talk about the body count. Let's talk about the emotional count. The emotional count has ruined her. That's why it makes it so easy for her to present herself in whatever beguiling way she needs to for a sucker like Gates, and use him intentionally, willingly to get her way. Some of y'all got a woman in your life right now been using you for years and you know it. And you hoping that she changes. You hoping that she rearranges. You hoping that one day you wake up and realize that you did the right thing, waiting her out, waiting for her to change, waiting for her to become the woman that she presented herself as in the beginning. See, you mistakenly believe that the woman she presented herself as is the true version of her, and the one you got right now, the Jezebel, scallywag, no good, dirty dog of a woman, is the version that you created because you did something wrong. You didn't treat her good enough. You didn't buy her enough stuff. You didn't let her cry on your shoulder enough. You're not emotionally available enough. You're not... You've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok, put in an emotional position where the woman is emotionally dominating you now, but now she has you in a position where you are fishing and wishing for her to become the woman who she was in the beginning, but you know that she was never that woman. But it feels so good to your emotionally distraught self that you just gotta keep trying to get it back. But after 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, at what point do you accept the fact that this is who she is? You mean to tell me Gates gonna let Brittany Renner be that way the whole time she been on social media, about a decade? And then you gonna let her take 3 or 4 months in Islam and talk about this my wife? Bro, I don't even care if it was a game. If it was a game, it's a stain on your brain for you to even act like that's your wife. Man, let me tell you something. Boy, Brittany Renner couldn't play my wife in a movie. You understand me? You can't pay me to play a role where she my wife in a movie, man. And she could be your wife and be trying to throw herself at me or something like that. Hey, boy, Hollywood can't pay me enough money to even simulate an intimate scene with Brittany Renner, dog. I don't even want that type of woman around me, dog. And you may say, man, you jealous. She just fine. Hey, man, I'm just gonna be honest with you, dog. When it come down to it, overall, when we talking about physical beauty, when we talking about mental duty, when we talking about spiritual astuteness, when we talking about a woman who is down for you, a woman who is young, a woman who is telling a woman who ain't been touched, man, bro, man, let me tell you something. Not only can I do better than Brittany Renner, I'm already doing better than Brittany Renner, dog. She ain't nobody. She just a woman that like to expose herself online, dog. If she don't have on little bitty shorts or little bitty clothes and she ain't exposing herself, dog, she don't. Who looking at her in the hijab and be like, ooh, man, I want me a woman like that. When you take away all the distractions of her body and the little shorts and all of that and the cleavage and all of that, when you take away those distractions, she's just slightly above average. And that's just the reality of it. Yes, when she stripped down, she got on a little bit of shorts and a halter top and all that stuff she be wearing. Yes, she goes above average. But right now with a hijab on, bro, ain't nobody who checking for her. And you may say, man, ain't nobody checking for no woman. No, there are some women who have absolutely gorgeous faces in hijabs. You know why? Because they don't look like a wicked woman faking. They look like a sweet woman with a hijab on who was raised that way, who was born to be that. Let's get back into it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but stand your ground. It's sacred. So when you stand your ground, you stand in your truth. When you stand in your truth, you stand in your power. And when you stand in your power, I'm to a place where I've just accepted that my light is so bright that it causes all of the roaches to scatter in places they thought they could hide.
Look at her eyes, dog. Look at that twisted twitch eye, bro. Look at the Jezebel spirit in this woman's eyes, dog. Just take a look.
It's just me being me. It just causes such an uproar. Like, loving yourself is such a rebellious act these days, you know? But I'm here to tell you, I am so not sorry.
Now you heard her just talking about loving herself. All that hoism is loving herself. Y'all keep listening.
That you warn guys about girls like me, so tell me about girls like me.
Just women in general. Like, I mean,
well, no, but no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here that you did say that you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
Like,
so
you're like other women that are.
So
like,
what makes you special then?
I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel? I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable, what does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying, what if I call you? If I just say that again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it. Right?
Okay,
that's how I feel. Right. But so
Again, here's a woman who needs to defend her honor by not defending her honor by just saying negative things about the guys. Honestly, at that point, who knows? Maybe she did have enough steam where she didn't want to do the guys' podcast, but that was a point. I can promise you, that was a point when Fresh and Fit were popping where she wouldn't have minded doing it. But when you hear a woman talk like this, she's literally using her Jezebel power, and that's the point right there. When I looked at that, I said Myron had an opportunity to show that he was as masculine as he portrays himself as in the face of a Jezebel. Now, me in the face of a Jezebel, that conversation goes totally different. Totally different. Because I'm going to tell her, I'm simply going to repeat all the shit she said herself. When she asks me, well, what kind of woman am I? Well, you're the type of woman who tells young girls that if they want to come up on somebody and use a baby as a bag, use a baby as a come up, that they should find an athlete, go find some athlete and have unprotected intimacy with him so they can get a baby. And they don't have to worry about it because he ain't going to demand to strap up. So they should just go around and do that. Well, that's not, well, yeah, I did that. And well, that's because, no, you also told them that, they should challenge men and they shouldn't be perfect poly, and they shouldn't be submissive to a man. They shouldn't do it. They should be out here living the life that you live. But then half of the time you're online crying about it, don't want nobody to help you, and you ain't got nobody. Her words were already told you what kind of woman she is. A woman without logic. A woman who believes that she's going to get out here and do better than that young man, PJ Washington, who thought she was his dream girl. When she went to Kentucky and groomed him, that was his dream girl. She would have never done any better than that man who thought she was a dream girl. Because right now, yes, there may be some guys who dream of smashing, but Brittany Renner is nobody's dream girl right now. Not a man that's up enough to be able to even afford the lifestyle that she would want. Let's keep it a buck. But it gets even worse, dog. Let's keep going.
Had I had Brittany Renner in a meeting when I was in college, I might be about $15 million more richer. Because she broke it down. The coldest line, she said, I got more checks in my DMs than Nike. I said, wow. That mean they had her.
Yes.
Okay, and she's trying to tell them how this is played out. She say, it's women out there that do their homework. They know everything about y'all because you tell on yourself on the gram and on social. Mm-hmm. So they know how to go get you. And you thinking you conquering it and you ain't, because it's all a plan.
You think you run a game and they run a game on you.
She brought us, she opened a lot of eyes. And I'm hoping, and I know, a few guys learned tremendously from her speech. She was unbelievable.
Now, I put that in because I wanted you to see how guys like Coach Prime, who he's a great college coach, was, in my opinion, one of the top 2 defensive backs of all time in NFL. Also, in my opinion, one of the top 2 kick returners in NFL history. He was a beast of an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at his boys, you look at his daughters, phenomenal father as well. When it comes to women, he knows as much about women as a monkey know about putting a pair of Beats headphone on and making a track for Drake. He knows nothing about women. And as proven by the things he went through with his wife, Pilar, and how he still shies away from even interacting with her. He can't even be himself, or he got to shy away because she took so much of his energy from him. And also the way he jumped right into a relationship with babyface leftovers Tracy Edmonds, damn near married her. You understand me? This is what we're talking about. You can be a great man, you can be a great father, you can be a great businessman and still be a simp for women. And Coach Prime is one of those guys. Now, I look at it like this as well. When we live in a world where men believe that if a man won't listen to me about the game and how women perform, he's not going to listen to that woman. You think anybody in there listened to Brittany Renner? No. Most of those guys probably jumped on her DM after she left. Men don't take advice from women. Men like to hear women tell them things that they want to hear. The perfect combination of pandering is a beautiful woman. Summertime in the South, baby. Spots to be everywhere. The perfect combination of interaction is a beautiful woman who tells men exactly what they want to hear, whether she believes it or not. A beautiful woman telling men exactly what they want to hear can have an audience of 1,000 men every night. She could be in one city and have 1,000 men in a small, intimate venue. every single night. Men will come from all over. Once the word spread, men will be flying in to come see that woman, talk that good talk to him. If it's an intimate setting where she's just like sitting down in a chair or on a sofa, just talking to him like a big podcast studio, and they can all sit around, they'll sit there. Men like to get their heads pumped full of bull by beautiful women. That's why men end up falling weak. That's how Kevin Gates end up falling weak for Brittany Renner. He liked to get his head pumped full of bull by the beautiful woman. You got to think about this. When you see her out in public with the hijab, Gates got a hold to her behind closed doors where she don't wear the hijab behind closed doors. She turns back into Brittany Renner. Not Brittany Islam. You know what I mean? But let's keep going, man. It gets even better than this because what we're going to see with Coach Prime is promoting her. He's promoting her still positively. Said she was phenomenal. Man, she wasn't phenomenal. That one was in there, man, trying to see if it was somebody in there worth grooming. And the only people in there really worth grooming, Travis Hunter was already caught up. He wasn't going to get Travis. He was caught up already. And his boys ain't going to go for it. There you go.
They're going on Instagram and they see you. And what happens? They try to get off in them DMs and kind of take us on the journey of how this is played out.
I mean, honey, like, I feel like for my DMs, it's like a Nike store. There's nothing but checks. So it just, for me, I feel like
Hold on. They missed that.
I want you to hear her bragging about how many men are after her. And you think a woman who brags about how many men are after her wants to be with one man in an Islamic marriage? Come on, Gates. You fool you.
nothing but blue checks.
They missed that game right there. She says like a Nike store.
It's like a Nike store. There's nothing but blue checks. So honestly, when you reach a certain status, you can have the pick of the litter. So for me,
she don't mean checks. Okay, she mean blue checks.
I'm talking heavy hitters. Some of y'all's favorite rappers, NBA players, football players. It's like, to me, once you reach that level just of popularity, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. And for me, my whole journey on here, I felt like my life almost felt like I was in Disney World, like I lived in Disney World. Like, you get to skip the line, you get privilege. Like, people just want to be next to you. They don't even see you as human anymore. And you can either, use it to your advantage and maybe abuse it, or you can, try to make something happen. So a lot of guys who are in my DM, you're in my DM because I'm Brittany Renner. So naturally, if you play a sport, it's kind of like, well, that's an incentive to talk to you. A lot of times, women, men in general, everybody wants something.
Thank you.
Everybody wants something. So it's like, even if we both have our own thing going on, me still being with you is a good look because you boost my stock. Just like you boost my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I boost your stock. It's just that simple. It's kind of like a give and take, but you have to be aware of what you're signing up for. You want to make it to the NFL, and it's kind of like, you do understand there's a lot that comes with that, right? There's gonna, to be able to decipher who really loves you for you, I think that's like the $1 billion question we're all wanting to know.
This is how the game is played. Please know that. We're putting you up on game because some of y'all gonna make it. I pray all of y'all make it, even if you make it in the business world. That's a whole nother category of game. In that world too. They just dressing up a little different.
Yeah.
The game is the same. Only thing changed is your names.
You are useful, and it's better to be useful than useless. So you just have to have that understanding that, okay, I have something to offer, whether that's financial, status-wise, whatever. And people do see that as a bonus to be with you. There's nothing wrong with that because both of you can have stuff going on, but you just have to be aware nobody is just here for nothing. It's just about figuring out who could be there during the times of adversity. And you would only know that going through adversity. If you had an injury and you weren't able to play, or just for even a short amount of time, there are just certain things you're going to have to just see for yourself.
Now, she just explained to you the game she ran on Kevin Gates. So how do you see this? This content was viral Everybody saw it. Everybody knows Coach Prime brought Brittany Renner into JSU. I did a piece of content on it back when it happened, talking the same way I'm talking now. It's all game. She's telling you how she runs the game. And then she turned around and ran it right on Gates. Why? He boosted her status for a show called Basketball Wives, and the only interaction she had with basketball is with PJ Washington years ago. That's her only interaction, only public interaction. And she also was seen out on a date with Shaq. But this gave her the one thing that would make her what she needed to be on the show: a wife. She didn't even have to be your wife. All you had to do, she just needed you, Kevin Gates, you fool you, to announce to the world that Brittany Renner is my wife. Now she's Islam, cleaned up her life, and got a husband out of it just for the show. And now 52 days later, your ass is grass and she is the lawnmower. It's over because now that use she was just talking about, she don't have that use for you no more. You can't benefit her at this point. The next level is to not have a husband anymore and become the Brittany Renner of old on the show and be the new version of one of those other women who got famous for being a 100% wide open, brash, profanity using scallywag. I have never in my life seen a man who's supposed to be so much up on the game, so much up on the industry, so much up on knowing what's going on. You are not a first-time rapper, dude. You've been in this game for a minute, and you still got used and abused and confused by a woman like Brittany Renner, dog. You should be ashamed of yourself. You really should. Be Real Mahogany, appreciate the 5 bone, man. Facts on that trauma bond statement. Joe went through it, was late to realize it. Preach BOA. Salute to you, man. Hey, listen, at least you realize it, brother. The goal is to realize it at some point. D Phil, what up with you, man? Appreciate the dub. What's good, Doc? What's good with you, bro? Just in here getting it, man. All right, let's get back into this thing, man. It goes on. She says even more things to make you see what kind of woman she is, dog.
We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then the...
Now, I didn't look that up. I wanted to look that up live with y'all. We're going to look up what happens in an Islam divorce. We're going to look up the 90 days to see if you're pregnant. I want to look that up with y'all in here right now so we can find out together at the same time. I'm going to look up, let's look up Islam. Islam 90 days after divorce. Okay, listen. There is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant. And then also in those 90 days is for a reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married. Okay, no, that's what she said. That's what she said. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Okay, that's about remarrying. Okay, during the Idat period, which is the 90 days, the wife remains in her husband's house if she is not pregnant. The husband is responsible for her support and maintenance during this period. If the couple decides to reconcile, they can do so at any time before the end of the Idat in the divorce process. Okay. Until she has married another man, and she is forbidden to remarry him until she has married another man, and their marriage is also dissolved. All right, man. Hold up. I guess that's just it, bro. You just have to you wait 90 days, see if you're pregnant. I guess if you're pregnant, I guess you decide if you stay or not, or I don't know what happens if you're pregnant. Let me see. Let's look. I'm gonna look at one more thing, man. I'm interested in this now. Let's see. I'm gonna look up Islam divorce while pregnant. I'm very interested in this, dog, because I want to see what. Okay. Okay. Here's what it is. When she's pregnant, if she's pregnant, then the EDOP period continues during the pregnancy. So he still got it. She still gets to stay in his house, and he still has to provide for her, even though this is still a period leading up to the divorce. Now, the period, it ends after she has the child. Now, once pronounced, the divorce is effective, but the couple remains in a waiting period until the birth of the child, so she can be divorced. Now, here's the thing you got to understand. She only has to wait 90 days to be with someone else after the divorce is finalized. So let's say the divorce decree has been made. They wait 90 days, she's pregnant. Okay, the divorce gets finalized. She can still go be with somebody else while she's pregnant with your kid, and you still got to take care of her because she's pregnant with your kid. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. That's crazy, bro. Hey, listen, man. Kevin Gates' brother, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And this ain't no knock on the brother. All jokes aside, I wish I knew that brother, and I wish he had consulted me as his spiritual liaison before he made this decision, because he obviously had no one around him who could tell him the horrible mistake that he was making. Because there's nothing about this that I'm surprised by. The woman has laid down her blueprint on several occasions, and she's grouped him in with the athletes who none of them strap up, none of them wear rubber. So now here he is looking crazy, because if he's put a baby in this woman, we already know she will go and continue to pile up bodies with your baby. And it's crazy, bro, that you would overlook everything a woman has said, everything a woman has done, everyone a woman has been involved with, everything a woman has admitted, and say, I don't care about any of that. She's your queen to be. It's a bad situation, dog. And I'm gonna be honest with you. For a guy like Gates, who has presented himself as such a wise man, as such a godly man, as being so close to God, as being so connected. I don't know who he thinks he was connected to, but he wasn't connected to God, bro, to make this decision. To make this decision. To be beguiled by such this woman. Only the elect will be wise enough to discern if a woman is truly who she says she is. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. I've had a woman try to run this same thing on me. She was this perfect, everything that ever happened to her is because she was such a good girl, and everybody had taken advantage of her, and it was everybody else's fault, and she was this good girl. But me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I blew it. But I've had a couple of good girls. I'm talking about good girls. I blew it. I ain't blow it. I just wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? I was ready for it, but I told myself I wasn't ready for it. Let's put it like that. Because if God gave it to me, I was ready for it. I just told myself I wasn't. You know, I still had one foot in the game, dog. I wasn't ready yet. So I know what a good girl look like. I know what a good girl sound like. And you know one thing I know about a good girl? A good girl does not have a checkered, raggedy past. Anybody can change their behavior, but the damage of your past behavior is still there. I got hitters where if I was that type of person, still I could have somebody touch. And my hitters have always been hitters. They live perfectly legitimate lives now. They live perfectly legitimate lives. They are law-abiding citizens, loved and respected within their community. But if it hit the fan, and there needs to be a plan, hey man, they can take off the sheep clothing and become a wolf again, because it's always there. And it's the same thing with a woman who's lived her life as a scallywag. Once she's lived that life and embraced that life, and she was all for it, and she didn't want to ignore it, and she didn't try to hide it, that's always in her. And if you make her your wife, eventually, you're going to have some strife. Because no matter how good she portrays herself to be, she's eventually going to run right back to those streets. And that's just the way it is, brothers. So listen, brothers, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Got another phenomenal show for y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all going to love the show tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, y'all just wait and see what I post. It's going to be a phenomenal show tomorrow, man. So listen, I appreciate y'all, brothers, man. As always, MPI, I see you, brother. Appreciate you being in the joint. We're going to go ahead and head out of here, man. Make sure I ain't miss nobody in here, man. Yep, got everybody. Be Real Mahogany, man. Okay, yeah, I got that one already. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Listen, y'all put God first, brothers. Keep grinding, keep growing, and always knowing if you want to survive in your interaction with women in this world, you got to apply the prism of the ism, dog. That's the only thing that works. The only thing that works. Peace.